In this video, we're going to continue working with Audio Snap as we tighten up the background vocals. Now, in the last video, I showed you how I use Audio Snap to detect the transients and then to actually bounce down the results of Audio Snap to get better audio quality. Now, once in a while, you'll get some artifacts that you just don't like. I didn't notice that when I was finishing that video, but I did on playback that the bass line, the bass harmony vocal, just didn't really sound right. It was giving me a lot of weird artifacts. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I corrected that. First of all, this is what we had after we rendered the background vocals on the bass line.
He'll never take me down, down to the darkness, down with the devil.
You can hear a lot of kind of sputtering as it's trying to find the pitch. And so that algorithm, radius solo vocal, clearly didn't work for this kind of vocal. It's too gritty. It's not melodic enough. So what I've done with this is I've separated out the parts. Now, one thing you might not have noticed is that on the same tracks, background vocals 1 and 2 had the bass lines, and then it had the female vocal lines mixed up phrase by phrase. I've gone through and used basic editing to separate those out. So I don't actually need this. I just kept this so you could hear that type of artifact so you can help identify it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this particular track, and then we'll re-render these tracks using a different algorithm. So if I hit A, we'll choose radius mix. I've already found out that this works pretty well in the event that vocal doesn't work. So with that selected, all I need to do is bounce these clips. I've just selected all the clips and do bounce to clips. All right, so now that we've bounced that, we should have the high quality algorithm for Audio Snap using the mix. So let me just listen to a couple phrases here to see if it sounds smoother.
He'll never take me down, down to the darkness, down with the devil.
Right, that's a lot smoother. So I think we're going to go ahead and go with that. Now, on the female vocals, we'll select these clips. I'll hit A to go back to the Audio Snap panel. And for this one, I probably could use mix, but I'm going to go back to radius solo vocal because I know that works just fine for the female background vocals. And then I'm going to bounce these clips. All right, that's finished. So I'm going to audition a couple of these spots here just to see how that sounds.
Take me down.
All right, that sounds just fine. Now, in order to keep this straight, I'm going to clean up the naming here. I've got background vocal 1 low. I've got background vocal 2 low. This should be background vocal 1 high. And this should be background vocal 2 high. Background vocal 3 is all female vocals, so I'm going to call that high. And this background vocal is the lead vocalist, so I'm going to call that background vocal 5 lead. And with that, in this folder, I've got all my background vocals organized. Now, one more thing I want to do is clean up the ending. Right out here at measure 34, I think, the ending here is a little ragged. We're going to use standard editing to clean this one up.
Down with the devil, baby.
All right, so I'll solo these out.
Oh, baby.
Well, the low background vocal hangs on a lot longer. Just to get more control over this, I'm going to tighten that up using some just standard editing. So right here, I'm going to hold down Option and put in some splits right here on these tracks. I'll zoom in on that ending a little bit. I'm just going to bring this back to where it's just touching that ending. Then I'll select all of these together and put in a little bit of an ending fade. And then I'm going to drag this back till that fade is just starting to be active. And then that should tighten that up.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, perfect.
He'll never take me down, down to the darkness, down with the devil.
So now we've tightened up the background vocals with Audio Snap and just a little bit of editing on the endings. We've organized the tracks. We're ready to move on to the next stage of our mix. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.